pacing back and forth. Oh, I don't understand why you're standing right here. All your shots have scored. No, scratching at the scars you left on my skin. We fight and we fall and we rise through it all till we find what we want, then we lose it all again. Your touch on my skin, pull me close, take me in. Just me, just you, lost in the moment.
Hello my gems, it's Karen. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new, hello. I'm so glad you clicked on this video. Today we're going to be creating a smoky eye with the Fenty Beauty Snap Shadows number 6 Smoky. So why don't we get into it? Alright guys, so I'm sure you guys have seen these palettes before. They are by Fenty Beauty, Rihanna's makeup line. And I have the number 6 in my hand. It is the Smoky palette. These colors are amazing. So I am super excited to be trying them out for the very first time. I've got some clean brushes over here. I'm going to go through the brushes and this routine of doing a smoky eye with you, and I do hope that you will enjoy it. I grabbed a crown sweeper brush, and I'm taking that first shade and going to put that in my crease and all over my lid. Alright, so laying down this color with this crown brush. It's a really nice brush with a lot of control. I really want my crease to be super dark, but of course you've got to start somewhere. So we're using the lightest matte in the palette for the first shade. It's pretty, but I've got to go in with a blending brush. I think I've got my Morphe x Jaclyn Hill. Yes, I believe that's the JH37. And basically I'm going to swirl that brush around. I did not add any color to it. I am just blending out the color that I've already placed down, and I'm enjoying it. Believe it or not, that is my satisfied face. Once this color is blended in completely, I will move on. I like to start dark and then move my way over to light. I don't know why I do it that way, but I do. Okay, so let's move on to another color. I'm going to go one shade darker to the second matte dark shade, and we're going to lay that down basically in the same spot we put the first one. And I will be using a Luxie shader brush. I think a smoky eye is one of the sexiest looks you can do. So as you can see, this shade is just a little bit darker than that first transition shade that we laid down. And I am using this Luxie brush to put that in my crease. I'm not going too far because we don't want our eyeshadow hanging down. We want our eyes to look lifted. Now I'll go back in with that same blending brush I already used and blend this color out. And as you can see, it'll blend and you'll see the pigment thin out. You do want to make sure there is no separation in pigment, meaning where you put the pigment laying down, you don't want to see the eyelid color. You want to make sure that the color flows nicely. That's why I'm always looking in the mirror and turning different angles, because I've got lights coming down on me, and sometimes it's hard to tell if I have missed anything or not. So I'm adding a little bit more color because I'm really wanting that dark crease. It makes my eyes look bigger. Like, what eye shape do you have? Do you know what eye shape you have? Would you put that down in the comments below? I'm curious to find out if you guys have a similar eye shape or if it's much different, because that's going to make the difference on how you would lay down your eyeshadow. So with this Luxie brush, I'm going to go into the darkest matte. Now don't be afraid, this is okay. We've worked up to this. We're gonna put it right out there. I really want you makeup newbies, or those of you that might be trying a smoky eye for the first time, to take notice how I apply the color and then I go in with a blending brush to blend it out. Now, I'm not a fan of the method of going in with one brush, putting the color on it and blending it out. To me, it can get too messy and you can end up with too much pigment in the wrong spot, and then blending it out could be a nightmare, and that's where you would get more of a muddy look instead of the smoky eye that you're looking for. So I'm really liking this color. These colors are super blendable, they're super pretty, definitely smoky. I'm definitely excited. So now I'm going in with my first shimmer. Let me show you which one it is. Guys, look, I wanted to go a little bit closer to show you guys how pretty this dark shimmer is. It's like a charcoal gray with these beautiful white sparklies in it, and I'm just loving it. Okay, so I've laid that color down on both of my eyes, and I am digging into the next color that I am going to use, which is that beautiful purple shade. It's not really a shimmer. Well, it's not as shimmery as the one I just laid down, but it's definitely really pretty. I will tell you what, ladies, as I am laying down that purple on the other eye, this is a perfect palette for you to create a smoky look with. I think it's really easy, and if you were to follow the steps that I've showed you here today, I am really confident that you could get a smoky eye that you would like. I do like a more dramatic smoky eye as well, but I'm loving this simple kind of look. Okay, so now we are going to do the inner corner and that inner first part of my lid with the lightest shimmer on this LaRouche brush, and I absolutely love these brushes. They're really becoming one of my favorites. I am using my Tarte setting spray on the shimmers now. And this eyeshadow is going to bunch up a little bit. That is what happens. The setting spray pulls out the color brighter than ever. And then you may have to go back in and blend with another brush or turn the brush that you were using over and blend it out that way. I will show you the way that I do it in just a minute, but I'm liking this color. I'm liking this look. That is the inner corner highlight brush from Jacqueline's collection with Morphe. I just put that same shade on the inner corner and I'm blending it up because I am one that loves to blend and loves to make sure that my shadows flow nicely from one transition to the next. Of course, I'm putting that, as you can see, on my brow bone, and I'm following it down. A good rule of thumb is if your shadow is not covering and close to I'm talking about the pigment, close to your brow, it would be good for you to bring that highlight from the brow bone down because it just gives a nice flow of everything. And of course, you want to go back in and use your blending brush to make sure that everything does flow nicely into one another. I think it really helps the look come together. So now I'm just taking that inner corner highlight brush and I am doing a method, as you can see, of blending and flicking is what I like to call it because you're barely touching that, but you're just laying the pigment flat, making sure nothing is bunched up, making sure you've covered the entire area with color, and then you'll be ready to move on. I'm going back in with a little bit of that purple so I can blend it with the inner corner highlights so that has a nice even flow of color as well. It's just like another smooth transition. I am using a little bit of setting spray. I'm going to go ahead and pull that highlight down where my lower lash line is, and I'm going to make the inner part of the eye as light as what the outer part is. I really don't see too much fallout at all. I did not have a lot to clean up, which was definitely a bonus. So now I'm going to go in with that purple again, and we're just going to sweep that from where the lash line starts all the way to that outer corner. You can go over this as many times as you need to. You really just want to kind of tight line it. Don't bring it down too far. Then you'll go ahead and you'll take the colors that you put on the outer corner right there at the lower lash line corner, and you'll go ahead and blend them together. Okay, so let's make sure everything flows nicely on that outer corner with the upper and lower part. And as you can see, I'm just taking that brush and making sure everything is the same amount of pigment in those areas, so it does look like it flows nicely together. Now I'm going to take my new favorite gel liner in black from Kylie Cosmetics, and I'm going to put that on my lower waterline. I love this liner. I think I've said that many, many times, but I really do. It's a great liner. I keep going back. Look at the difference. Isn't that crazy? I'm like, yeah, I like this. This is gonna work. So then I'm gonna go ahead and do my under eye concealer. I haven't done that yet, so I'm gonna do that now. I'm gonna clean everything up, use a concealer brush, and then I will go in with some black liquid liner on the top lash line. I think this is either a Luxie or a Crown brush. I'm pulling my concealer down. This is the Fenty Beauty Eye Brightening Concealer, and I am sweeping it over, making sure that I press this into my pores because that is how I do my concealer and my foundation because I have larger pores. I'm just really cleaning everything up and making sure that the under eye is smooth and you really can't see my pores. Now I put a little bit more concealer on that eye, so what I do is take a sponge. The sponge will soak up the excess, and then I'll go back in with that brush and make sure that everything is well blended. And I'll push it in with my fingers if I need to. We don't want any harsh lines. If you guys have any questions for me, put them down in the comments below. Alright, looks like we are cleaned up. I'm going to go back in with Jacqueline's brightening powders. I'm going to use the caramel and the almonds, and that's the light to medium palette. I'm going to use a flat foundation brush to apply this, and I'm not going to apply a whole lot. I'm just going to set my concealer with it, and as you can see, it definitely helps brighten underneath the eye. You don't want to put too much of it because too much of any powder will definitely crease, and you do not want to do that. Okay. Alright, here is my finished look. What do you guys think of this palette? I absolutely love her. I do. I think that she's really easy to use. I think that it would be great for beginners to learn to do a smoky eye. I'm going to do some swatches for you and I'll hold up these colors so you can see them. And as always, if you have any questions, put them in the comment section below and I will do my very best to answer them. Can't wait till you guys see this. There we are. Look how pretty. I think, am I missing one? No, that's all of them. And I love how they snap together. You have access to your eyeshadow palettes back to back, which I think is super neat. So who wants to see me use number 1? That's the one I haven't used yet. Let me know. This is the one I just used. And I want to say thank you so much for taking the time to be here. If you haven't subscribed, I would love it if you join the Gem Squad family, and I will see you guys real soon in another video. Thanks so much. Bye.